Most fans are not surprised by the performance of the US team. After all, they welcomed the return of KD, and the latter's true shooting percentage is above 90%. However, surprisingly, despite KD, this FIBA killer maintaining such a high efficiency output, the top scorer of the US team was once someone else, and he is the 23-year-old Edwards. Not only did he dunk over his idol KD in the intra-team training of the US team, but he also delivered a stunning slam dunk in the official game. At first, when he boasted that he was the first defensive option of the US team, many fans ridiculed him for being overly confident. But judging from his current performance, there is indeed no problem with his remarks, and he even has the potential to become another FIBA killer after KD. So, how outstanding is Edwards' performance? What are the characteristics of his technical playing style in FIBA? Is there a chance for him to become the new FIBA killer of the US team after KD? Edwards can be said to be the biggest surprise of the US team this summer. Although during the World Cup, many fans already knew that he would be the future of the US team, no one knew that at the age of 23, he could play so well in the Paris Olympics. You should know that this is the Olympics where big shots like LeBron, KD, Curry, etc. all participated, and the US team has presented a theoretically nearly perfect lineup. However, among a group of superstars, Edwards has instead become one of the most stable ones. He is the only player of the US team who has scored in double figures in every game when combining the warm-up matches and the official games. At the same time, he has also become the first ball handler on the bench. Even KD, the god of FIBA, consciously gave him the ball to initiate the offense. In the 3 group matches, Edwards was able to score 16.7 points on average. Among them, in the game against South Sudan, he made 11 of 15 shots and scored 26 points with super high efficiency. For the second time this summer, he became the top scorer of the US team in a single game, tied for first with LeBron. In terms of specific performance, although Edwards is only a substitute, his performance combining offense and defense can be regarded as the 3rd best player of this Olympics, only behind LeBron and KD. As soon as he steps onto the court, it can be described as a dimensionality reduction strike. In an environment without double teaming, Edwards in one-on-one situations cannot be limited by any defense. He doesn't need any complicated technical moves. A change of direction and acceleration can get past all the top defenders, and then a Eurostep can take him to the basket to score. Watching him play, there is even a sense of déjà vu of Wade in 2008. In terms of one-on-one breakthrough ability in this Olympics, only the captain of the US team, LeBron, is above him. At the same time, his shooting performance this summer is also very excellent. After the 3 group matches, Edwards' 3-point shooting percentage is 53.8%, and he has made a total of 7 3-pointers. His 3-point shooting performance is even better than that of the starting Curry. Moreover, Edwards also has a very accurate mid-range shot. Such shooting without dead angles in all areas is really difficult to defend. On the defensive end, Edwards is one of the most relied upon outside defenders of the US team in this Olympics. He has the body, strength and speed, and doesn't suffer when defending against forwards alone. His and Holiday's ability to switch and defend forwards and guards is also the basis for Kerr's willingness to field a multi-guard lineup in some games. I believe many fans remember what Edwards said before the warm-up matches. When facing the interview, he stated that he was the first choice of the US team. At that time, many people thought this young man was too arrogant. But now it seems that arrogance requires confidence and capital, and Edwards obviously has both. One obvious performance is that compared to other members of the US team, Edwards is much more decisive in his personal offensive choices. He knows that when he comes on the court, he is there to score. There won't be too many passes beyond his ability. As long as there is an opportunity, he will shoot very resolutely. Under this playing style, the rhythm he plays is the closest to that of the NBA, so it is not surprising that he performs well. According to news reports, Edwards pointed out the problems with Embiid during the training of the US team. He believed that Embiid should take on the responsibilities of the center position more, provide high-quality screens for his teammates and make some off-ball movements instead of holding the ball all the time. Edwards' statement is correct. Embiid does have a series of unreasonable problems. Compared to Embiid, some of Edwards' rare forced shots even seem more acceptable. Let's talk about Edwards' playing style on the FIBA court again. As we mentioned earlier, due to Edwards' decisiveness in playing, his playing style on the FIBA court is among the stars, the one that is closest to his playing style in the NBA, almost without exception. But there are still some subtle differences in actual operation. Compared to when he was with the Timberwolves, Edwards' playing style is a bit more reasonable. Because there are too many players in the US team who can take on the role of scorers and finishers, the number of shots allocated to each player must be less than in the NBA. Except for the third game when he was in outstanding form and took 15 shots, in other games, his number of shots almost never reached double digits. Under the limited number of shots, Edwards, of course, has to choose some offensive methods that he is most confident in. The first is the breakthrough in the ball-holding state, which is divided into two types. The first is one-on-one singles after teammates create space, and the second is breaking into the inside after a pick and roll. Up to the Olympics, Edwards hasn't found even one outside defender who can limit him in one-on-one defense. Edwards is very efficient and unstoppable when approaching the basket. The second is the pick-and-pop jumper after holding the ball. This move is Edwards' killing move in the playoffs. Even the Mavericks, who did a very good job of restricting Edwards, couldn't defend against Edwards' single-pick jumper. On the FIBA court, the person setting the pick for Edwards changed from Gobert to Davis, whose offensive threat is vastly different. This made the opponents dare not double-team Edwards in the pick-and-roll, further activating Edwards' pick-and-pop jumper. The last one is transition offense. Edwards has the best running and jumping ability among the current Dream Team and the second-best impact after LeBron. His threat in transitions is also second only to LeBron. And although he is not tall enough, when he rushes up, almost no player can stop him. Coupled with his role as the leader of the defense for the US team, in every round defended by the US team, he often has the best fast break opportunity. In addition to these ball-dominant offenses, Edwards also plays some off-ball actions in the game that Embiid is unwilling to do. Whether it's catching the ball and shooting a three-pointer from the three-point line or secretly cutting into the basket when a teammate is holding the ball, Edwards does it well. Furthermore, there is a second difference between Edwards of the US team and that of the Timberwolves. Compared to the Timberwolves, where Edwards also has to undertake some organizational tasks, the version of Edwards in the US team is in a completely scorer form. Although his role is reduced, Edwards, who is single-mindedly thinking about scoring, is obviously stronger than Edwards, who is considering passing at the same time. The above is the offensive end. In the defensive end, Edwards in the NBA and FIBA does similar things, both as the leader of the defense on the top. The difference is that the FIBA version of Edwards doesn't have to worry about physical strength and can devote himself fully to defense. Therefore, he is much more fierce than the NBA version. Edwards has proven his ability with his performance on the field. He has taken a total of 80 shots, ranking first in the team, and at the same time, his effective shooting percentage has reached a terrifying 63%. He has scored in double figures in all the games he has played, and he is the only one in the team to do so. He can be regarded as one of the most threatening offensive points of the US men's basketball team. If only talking about the ability to finish, perhaps only KD can be compared with him. The process of the past 3 group matches of the US men's basketball team can be said to be exactly the same. The starting lineup was deadlocked with the opponents. After Edwards and KD led the substitutes to play, the score could be quickly opened. On the one hand, it was because of Embiid's inappropriateness. On the other hand, it was because of the huge lead of the depth of the US men's basketball team's lineup. Of course, more importantly, it was because of Edwards' playing characteristics. The US men's basketball team has always been dominating the world with fast-paced offense. After LeBron and Curry joined this team, Kerr has increased the proportion of positional warfare. However, the positional warfare on the FIBA court is much more difficult than in the NBA, and the space is compressed more severely, which is the main reason why Curry's performance is rather struggling. Edwards' highly impactful playing style can quickly drive the offensive speed of the US men's basketball team and change the opponent's defensive formation. In this case, the opponent will gradually fall into the fast-paced rhythm of the US men's basketball team and fall into a passive situation. So for the current lineup arrangement by Kerr, we can view it as a distinction between two playing styles. The starting lineup is a more composed positional warfare. Kerr attempts to activate Embiid's inside offense with Curry's shooting and LeBron's organization. The rotation lineup is the killing move of the US men's basketball team to end the game in one wave. Using Edwards' speed combined with KD's accuracy is the reason why Kerr insists on putting KD on the bench. Coupled with a group of defensive tough guys like Holiday, White, and AD, it can maximize the individual abilities of the two. This is also the most headache-inducing aspect of this US men's basketball team for other strong teams. Regarding Edwards' phenomenal performance, Green said on the podcast, "To achieve greatness, one must be mentally arrogant." Edwards is taking over the torch from LeBron, Curry, and KD. It has to be said that Edwards' personality is truly a rare existence among the younger generation of players. His passion and confidence always allow people to see the tough shadows of the older generation of stars. The US men's basketball team has been trying to find the next big killer on the international stage for many years, that is, the successor of KD. Edwards may be the most suitable choice. As the contemporary Jordan in people's mouths, the similarities between Edwards and Jordan are not only in appearance but also in his offensive and defensive attributes. He can not only be the key point of the team's offense but also be the top leader of the defense. It is indeed quite rare. If one has to be overly critical, Edwards' ability to break double teams, which has always been criticized, still needs to be improved. This is also something that a superstar must experience on the road to growth. Another aspect is his mentality. In the knockout stage of last year's World Cup and the NBA playoffs this season, Edwards still showed a situation of not being decisive enough in offense at critical moments. He is confident enough, but still needs to make further progress. When Edwards reaches maturity, the future of the US men's basketball team will surely have a new answer. But speaking of the present, for him who has just turned 23, the gold medal of the Paris Olympics will be the best birthday gift.